Hello and welcome to the Proclamation Podcast. Today's episode is going to be epic. We have a little threesome going here with Gilbert Acevedo III and Mr. Isaac Lorenzo. Thank you guys for being here. DJ Valor.
Whatever you want to call me.
Daddy.
AKA Dada.
Yeah,
Dada.
we did.
Dada.
Yeah, we did.
Dada. His Romanian friends call him Dada.
It's not going to
Shout
end.
out to all your Romanian friends and family.
Hashtag
Yeah,
Romo life.
that's right.
Romo.
Dude, people ask me if I'm Romanian all the time.
They do?
Well, it's the hair. No,
Okay.
I'm kidding. I think it's because I'm white and
Okay.
because
Okay.
I have Romanian friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm slowly becoming part Romanian.
They never know what to think with me. They just think I've either have been arrested or in prison, and that's it. But I get every type of nationality you can think of. Real talk.
What's the weirdest one?
The weirdest one? They thought I was some form of Polynesian.
I was gonna say maybe Samoan.
See?
Yeah.
I've never.
But you're not
doesn't
tall.
even make
You're
any
not
sense.
tall
not that
enough.
tall now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
come
not.
on
You're
now.
not tall
I
enough.
like how Isaac was.
He doesn't have that
Isaac
like
said buff.
crazy
Isaac said buff.
strength.
Listen, all my poly people who are out there watching know.
Hey.
They're like, hey, it's all good, Gil.
No, bro, they
More
got
to
that
love.
summer flex all the
Summer
time. You know what I mean?
bro. Okay, Roman Reigns. Anyway,
Thank you guys for being here.
we're glad, man. This is an honor.
Yeah.
Thank you. Cheers to
We
you guys.
we got first time podcaster.
Yeah, I've been around a lot of them, but I just never been on them.
What's it like though to be like the guy in the corner of a room and then now you're sitting talking? What's
That's
that?
a
Tell
great
us that.
question.
Basically, when I've traveled and I've done them with other artists, basically, you have a list of the questions that are, let's just say hypothetically that can only be asked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you're basically following along and making sure those questions are actually being asked to, let's just say, the artist or whatnot. So
Trying to cover certain bases.
yeah, or like, let's just say hypothetically, the contract only said you can stay around these kind of lines. So you would basically stay around those kind of lines. You wouldn't go off subject because the artist wouldn't even answer them.
Yeah.
So you weren't like fly in the room. You were like security / contract. Like you kept it. Like
You would basically
See,
watch.
I knew when he told you that he's like, oh, I've been around him. No, like he was working.
He's important.
Yes.
Yeah.
Isaac.
I've had fun.
That's one thing I love about you guys is you guys are like super excited about what you're doing or what you've done, but you're not like, I'm hot shit. You're like, this is, I've had this season of my life doing this. I've had this season of my life doing that. And I've learned things and made mistakes. And now I'm doing this other thing. And I'm taking those things that I've learned and applying it there. So we always have good conversations.
Well,
That's why I
yeah.
want to have you guys on.
I mean, that's what it's about. I think the thing that we all have together is this camaraderie and community. And I think it allows us to go deeper. I know we were joking when we came in about like just surface relationships and stuff. Like, I don't have time for surface relationships.
Yeah.
I intentionally pursue the people that will challenge me. And that wasn't easy. It's not like I was born that way. I watched it and I saw it worked. And, like anyone who thinks they're, hot crap, what's crazy about hot crap is it's the messiest version of poop, right? So if you think you're that means you're going to get on everything. And it's like, no one wants to be around that.
No.
So it's kind of interesting. That's, so we joke a lot, but we don't take ourselves too serious, but we take, our families and what we love to do serious.
Yeah.
So it's a
Have fun in life.
Yeah,
I think that's like the biggest thing is like, especially like the industry that I just came out of was always so serious. Everybody was so serious. And I always put that smile on, baby, got to have fun. So, and people never got it,
Dada likes
and
fun.
then at the end of the day, they were like, realize like, dude, this guy actually genuinely cares about us, and he actually genuinely cares about what is going on here. He's not full of himself. He actually loves people and where they're at. And so, and that's what like, I always like to say, I like to be the biggest cheerleader for everybody. I want to see people win at the end of the day, just like Fourscore,
Totally.
It's just
sometimes
like-
I feel like you
yeah.
work here because you're so excited about what we're doing.
You're like,
I kind of am.
Looks like, wait, what did I do? Did we do that? And I said, yeah, I did a
Who
campaign.
hired Isaac when
I did
I
my
wasn't
own
looking?
I did my own campaign. You know what's funny? I was actually going to just brag on Isaac about that. I think
Please do.
there's different forms of creatives. I think the practical artists, the ones who like paint, draw, or are known for their artistry, kind of like not on purpose because it is what it is. People see that stuff. Like artists like Isaac who are capable of doing that stuff, are are actually, their craft is even more powerful and it's celebrating others' gift sets. A lot of people can't do that and they don't do it well.
They
And
want to be at the center.
they want to be at the center of attention. I think, and Isaac, like he gets all uncomfortable when I affirm him, you know, because he's a tough guy, you know.
No, they're definitely not tough.
I mean, no, you're not
Tough in here.
But you're tough in here, man. Your corazón is strong.
My heart.
Your heart, but that's strong. But like, it's funny because that's an art too, man. Like that's a form of creativity. I think when you look at,
it's like the curator who places the artist
There you
paintings
go.
where they need to be for people to see them in the order that they need to see them.
and that's why we need each other, because most artists think they know how to do that. And it's even better when someone else who knows what they're doing helps showcase what you do. And that's why we all need each other, man. We all need each other.
It's so true.
It's the best people, the most successful ones have teams of people who do everything for them, you know, or with them, I should say. You know, it's not, no one's self-made. No one's like done it on their own. That's the biggest crock of poop ever.
Totally.
Is that ever like, I did this myself. No, you didn't. Like
somebody was alongside you.
Yeah, someone was alongside you.
Behind you, underneath you.
Yeah, exactly. You stood on someone, bro. Like, in that, even if they were on their knees and on their hands saying, yo, step on my back, you still did it.
Right.
And they still did that.
We stand on the shoulders of giants.
It's 100%.
Totally, man.
And I need a really tall person to stand on sometimes. So I'm really sure.
Or just a ladder.
Either way. Or a ladder. A mobile ladder.
Mobile ladder.
Ladder with wheels.
Oh, that would be so
That's
dope.
safe.
We'll make it. Actually, Luke will make it.
I can make
Can you
anything.
imagine it? That's safe.
I had to turn down an awesome woodworking project because I just don't have time. And I was so disappointed. I'm like, I could build that. And then I just had to say, I'm so sorry. I'm going to do you a disservice if I say yes to this because I'm not going to do it right. I'm going to do it too fast.
Are you guys, I got to ask this.
Usually when you go fast, it's not right.
It's not, no, when you rush something, it's never good. Are you the kind of guys though, like when you have an idea and then you'll see someone else do it and you're like, dang it. I feel like I'm that guy a lot. Is it like, do you have that feeling?
Like starting like,
for example,
Apple or Krispy Kreme or something?
Let's say a rolling ladder. Let's say a practical thing. Let's say something practical like a rolling ladder.
Like build this table.
Yeah, like build this table. You're like, oh yeah, I'm going to build this table. And then you go somewhere and someone's making a bunch of money off it. You're like, I literally had that conversation a week ago. And it's not about being the first person, but you're like going, it's so funny. I think it's so humbling. I think it's it's hilariously humbling where you just go, I'm not the only one who has those ideas.
Yeah.
And you just got to like, yep, you're not. And then you move on. But like, I find myself laughing at myself a lot because you should, of just going, dang it. I was just thinking that. But when I heard the rolling ladder idea, I could see you seeing things going, I want to make this thing.
Somebody's done it.
Thing. Yeah. And you're like, dang
There's a picture someone sent me of, we always got to bring it back to coffee.
Yeah, of course.
There's a thing that someone invented where you had like a percolator coffee pot in your car and it ran off of the car. And it's old, like from the 30s or 40s or something. And so they would just plug it in and run. It must have been maybe a little later if it was electrically ran. But yeah, like there's a photo of a guy and he's got like a little tray that's mounted in there and a percolator and he's pouring coffee in his car. And you know somebody like crashed and burnt themselves heck bad. And then they're like, we got to get rid of this thing.
We're not doing that one again.
Yeah, it seemed like a good idea.
It seemed like it.
Yeah.
Some things, I mean, some things you make and you got to find out how bad it is, I guess. You know, I don't hate him for it. He went for it.
Yeah. Learn something.
Speaking of coffee, Luke, this is really good.
It's almost gone.
I mean,
you might have to get another one.
I might have to get another one.
Yeah. What you were saying made me think of a question for you guys. What do you say to younger people on your team or just people who are listening to this podcast and they are trying to do it on their own? What advice do you have for them? Or here's one thing I've found a lot of times is people don't want to hear advice. So what do you say to somebody who you think won't hear the advice but needs to hear what you're saying about getting other people around you, stepping on people in a positive way, like standing on somebody's shoulders so that they can lift you up, or submitting yourself to somebody else who has maybe more experience? Like, what do you say to young people who are struggling with that?
It's a good question. You want me to go first or you want me to?
You can go.
No,
you're more than welcome to.
Go. We're team players here, bro. I saw your lip quiver like you were going to say something.
Yeah, dude. I think.
Let it out.
See?
Man.
Isaac, you can share your feelings.
I run into, I know, right? I run into a lot of young adults, a lot of young entrepreneurs or artists. And we met with a lot of people too, like personally. And they have these crazy ideas, and you're just like, cool. But at the end of the day, like, you start talking to them about those ideas and certain things. And then that fear of like actually doing it gets on them. They're just like, oh, I don't know if I can do it. You're like,
It's easy to climb the ladder. It's hard to jump off into the pool.
totally, man. Like I have a lot of quotes on like dreaming, because like dreaming's one of this, it's like a cool thing to do, but at the end of the day, it's about execution, right? So you can dream all you do. Yeah, you can dream all you want, but if you don't have that execution to go behind it, it's just a dream, right? Hashtag quote.
It's just a dream.
That's in his notes, by the way.
That's in my notes by quotes by Isaac.
There you go.
So you're going to read them all at the end of the podcast,
I'm going to read them all at the end of the podcast.
I think you need a podcast of quotes by Isaac, or at least a segment, but that's just me throwing it out there.
Robbie dressed up as Abraham Lincoln.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Abraham Lincoln, and he can read the quotes.
Isaac Sanchez was actually a cousin of Abraham Lincoln. It's in a whole other podcast, though. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Going deep.
Going deep. Deep and deer.
Deep and deer. Double D.
Double D.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I always feel like that's like the biggest thing with a lot of younger people, you know, it's like, hey man, I want to do this. This is cool. This is dope. But like how? And then you start to point it and start to paint it out to them, right?
Yeah.
In the how. And they're just like, dude, I don't get it, you know? And I feel like a lot of the younger guys, they want stuff handed to them. And at the end of the day, that's not reality. We all know that, right? Yeah. It's like people like, dude, I dream of a coffee shop. But they don't know and understand and respect the grind behind it. Like
literal grind, by the way.
Hey, check this out. Now we're 4 and we're 3 buildings deep, you know, 3 sections of this place deep. You know, we started off in a little hallway, you know, now we're
$600 a month.
Front door.
That's right.
And a hallway.
That's
right.
And people don't understand that. They don't want a long hallway.
Kind of spooky, but
went nowhere.
Right.
Well, and it's funny, Isaac, to your point, I use words that stand out because I know my brain, you know, I'm like, you know, whatever. And I think most people want the position, but don't want to go through the process.
Right. So true.
And I think a lot of people, for example, will say, well, I want to be a rapper. And you're like, cool. So are you going to find time in your day, every day, to get mentally healthy, to learn a business plan and model, to write? Maybe it's not, you're just not going in and writing songs, but you're writing because you'll use that eventually. And when everyone else is going out all the time and doing things, are you going to be willing to say no? Because
you're going to be working.
Yeah, you're going to be working and I have a quote that it's funny. I think I'm a paint it in my shop, but like while you sleep, I'm not. And it's because if you want something, then you got to go through the process to get it. It's like saying to you, like, hey, I just want a coffee. And you're like, okay, what do you want? Well, could you just give me a coffee? And you're like, well, what do you want? Because not because you don't want to serve someone, but you're going, because I enjoy making something for you that's good. But if I don't know what you want, I can't do the right proper process to get you the end product.
Absolutely.
Right. So I think what I tend to do, because I encourage it in my own life, is I get down to the nitty gritty and pose questions so that they can hear themselves. I often in the car will talk to myself because sometimes I need to hear what I think I believe, either about myself or about something. And then I could hear how foolish it is. Or if I believe it.
It's like when you hear your own voice on a voice. You're like, I don't sound like that.
It's like, that's not me. And it's like, all right, dude, it's Gill, talk to you later. And you're like, dang it, that was me. But, I always pose a question like, what do you really want? For example.
It's the why.
Yeah, it's the why, man. Because creatives, and that's what's beautiful about our country, man. No matter how messed up we all are, it's humanity, dude. But America's great because I've been to other countries where you can't just wake up and go, I have an idea, let me do it, right? Here, you can actually...
There's people waiting to take your idea from you.
Yeah, exactly. Here, you're going to get jacked, right? Over there, yeah, exactly. But like, I think the why matters because you can go, okay, so are you passionate about creating something, whatever it is, whatever your craft, so that others know how great you are? So you want fame? Okay, well, that's on you. I'm not going to judge you, but if that's what you want, you'll do that. Some people just want to create just to be great because they want to impact people to do that too. And I think that's the difference between fame and greatness. Fame is like, look at me and look what I can do. Greatness is, man, I love doing this. I want to help you do it too. Yeah. They're different, man.
And I think great people get followed because they're doing something great, not because they're trying to be great.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Look great.
Exactly. And I think that's that when you get down to the why, because I think some people, man, believe it or not, they're just going, I'm not doing, and it's all are okay. I think all are okay. It's just, you got to pick is some people are going to do it and say, I need to do this to make a living. I need to do this because I really love it, but I don't need it as a full-time job. And you have people that just go like, I just want to do it to help people. And all of those are great, but we go like, well, you have to do it and be like this. Like, no, you don't. Like, find out what you want to do. Because people who really want to do it are going, well, I have no problem with having 1, 2, or 3 jobs, so I'm able to do what I love.
Right. They figured out that.
They figured it out, right? And they just
Yeah.
do it. Like we
Yeah.
have friends that are amazing artists, and it's like they're just content with being low key, creating dope stuff, and that's it. And that's fine. They don't need the
They're
limelight.
grinding it out.
And then, yeah, exactly. And that's no lesser of a value than someone who does it maybe from a stage. I think, yeah, okay, one has a larger crowd, but then I look at the life and value of life, and I go, I don't think one's better than the other.
Yeah.
You know?
So we were talking about Kanye West in his interview that
Yay.
he did recently.
The
And one
yay.
of the things
didn't
I
see it
loved
yet.
him talking about was the value system by which we measure. And he kept like, what's the word? He kept kind of like making that clarifying statement before he then talked about people being wealthy and stuff, is like, this is how we measure it. I'm just saying, but that's not how I measure it. But if we are measuring it by dollar amounts, then yes, these people are the richest. And I'm like 74th on the list. I'm not the richest person by any means. And so I liked that because I think that people need to hear that more from people at the top, that, hey, how the world measures value is not the way that we should, or definitely not the way that everybody should. Yeah. If you work on Wall Street, you need to know your numbers, but like us in general, and us here in the real world, because they don't live in the real world.
No, not. It's a small
we need to
percentage,
have
by the way.
our own system by which we value the people around us. Like not saying, hey, this guy's got a Maserati and this guy's got a Honda Civic. I'm going to talk to this guy with the Maserati because he's got a Maserati. That's not how we should be judging our relationships and people's value as people.
Or even product, right? I mean, like you have, I could say this to you because we're friends, but I go like, what I love about what you've done with Fourscore is it's known for its product and its community, and the value is it's of Roseville for Roseville, and that's what's so dope about it, because it's like we're all part of this thing, right? And we've been to, you on your own and even us together, we've been to some places that are just bougie, and the service sucks. The coffee's not that great, but they're probably making a ton more money just because of the locationally or whatever. Yeah. And I go, Isaac's a perfect example. Where does Isaac always end up though?
Fourscore.
That's what I'm saying. So like there's something here. There's something. No, it's true. And it's true. Like and even when me and Isaac and we're texting like, oh, okay, so whether it's a bike ride or we're gonna meet up and talk life, whatever, it's like, where we get coffee, and it's like, all right, let's meet you at Fourscore. It's because when you find something that you can give value to and also you get value from, it's a beautiful relationship, right? But
I think some of those other places you feel like there's nothing I can give. This place is too cool without me.
And they don't care about you.
Yeah.
You hear, you go like, it's like Cheers. Everyone knows your name, but that's a legit
What's
thing.
Cheers?
Cheers is a show for those youngins out there that when I was a youngin, it was around. Hey, I was young then too.
I think it's on Netflix. Catch up, everyone.
You can type in the Google machine. All right. Cheers. But there's something to say about that. And I think too, something, bragging on Isaac again, something Isaac does really well, even to a fault, is he'll promote his friends' stuff. And I think a lot of people promote famous people stuff when it's like, we have to start looking at each other and what the potential we could bring to each other and those around us. A lot of people don't promote, not even just friends, let's say local artists or local creators or local shops. Like we kind of look to see what's famous and let me get a piece of that. Yeah. And that's weird. That's weird to me. Because where I grew up, it was about like, we were about each other. And I think that's a value we've lost in our society, because if someone famous says it, we'll retweet it, we'll quote it and everything, right? And inside, if we're honest, deep down, we hope that person sees we did that.
Right.
Versus,
which people post that on their stories,
which they do all the time, but they don't even
liked my photo.
Yeah, which is funny because then it's
I don't have time to see you like my photos.
And then it's funny because most people don't do that for each other on people trying to make it. And like, so to your question earlier, going backwards a little bit, what I tell young people is like, don't be hurt when your best friends don't lose sleep over your dreams either. Because oh man, that's huge. It's super huge, because I could say that about all my friends. Like none of my friends, I love you guys, but you ain't losing sleep over my dreams. So I have to remove that false expectation, right? Like it's not fair to you for me to have that on you, or it's not fair for you guys to have it on me, vice versa. I think there's a beauty when it's it's organic in a sense that when we celebrate each other, it's because we want each other to win. Versus what can I get out of it?
And that doesn't mean the other person has to lose.
Exactly. And I think
there is a huge world out there.
Oh, it's huge.
Oh, yeah, big time.
And I think that's where too, Luke, like, I think that's what helps. I think because when I was younger, I wish I heard this, but it's fine. I mean, it's not we're dead or anything, right? We're still doing it. I just think that helps remove the expectation that you assume who are the ones who are going to help you or not. I think it opens the door to the big world of going, yo, someone might hear about what you're trying to do somewhere else, but you have to get it out there and try. You have to communicate it and you have to grind, but don't put that expectation on just the closest ones near you. Like, because it's not on anyone else to make your dreams happen. Mm. But if you put that expectation on people where it's not gonna be them, then you're just gonna get hurt. Right. You know, and I think that's a human thing. I think we all go through that. I thought it was funny when I started Modern Abolition, and literally I just do it because I want to help people with creativity. And I have a shop that young people can come to and learn how to print and draw and design. And then they make stuff and we do a music studio. And I go, that's why I did it. I did it so that I can remove the excuse for all these young cats to say they want to do stuff. But right. Yo, when you put a brush in their hand, they're scared. When you put them in front of a mic, all of a sudden they don't want to do music. When you teach them how to print stuff, oh, maybe their apparel line isn't going to be as cool as they thought. It's weird.
Yeah.
I ask the questions, I give them the space, and I go, hey, I have this spot. Go ahead and get down. And you'll start seeing when it becomes real. And I think this is why I'll come into this.
That's important for people to know that no one's taking their dreams away.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they stop taking the next step because they feel like there's an obstacle.
And I think it's this. So I think it's this phrase right here. I don't think it's all just fear of failure. I think it's fear of success.
100%.
Because it's what the heck? Wait a minute. What if this is dope? What if this affects someone? What if someone understands me? I think there's this weird ego thing with creatives where we want people to know how good we are, but we don't.
Yeah.
Because you don't want that pressure. Because before you would probably do it just out of a freedom of expressing or to be different and all this stuff. And when you start seeing like, oh shoot, like that affected them like it affected me, you're like, oh no, you know,
this is
people
crazy,
know what's going on, you know? So yeah, that's what I think anyway.
So this morning, a couple days ago, Good Day Sacramento hits me up and says, hey, what you got going? Mm-hmm. And I said, we got a podcast going. They're like, that's kind of, everyone's doing that. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, we also have this awesome new macrame artist. Mm-hmm. And we reopened our Lincoln Library 2 weeks ago. They said, awesome, we'll come check it out. So I connect them with the macrame artist and I say, hey, I'm not even going to be there, even though I ended up being here. Wasn't going to be here. Wasn't going to be on TV. And once I realized I was going to be here, I said, I don't want to be on TV. I'm going to hide back here, do my thing. She can
do her thing,
right? She can take all the limelight. Mm-hmm. The girl somehow found out I was here, the reporter, and she comes back here and was like, we got to show people what's going on here. I want to come back and just have you talk about the podcast for a second. And it's live TV, so everything's really fast.
On the go, baby.
And I'm like, yeah, that's great. Mm-hmm. But dude, like we're talking about changing the conversation, right? So like emotion is okay to show, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So, I mean, I was like scared because I'm like, what if the Proclamation Podcast explodes?
Yeah. That's it.
Right. I mean, probably 10 people are going to follow it today. Yeah. It's not a big deal. But you're talking about something and we're kind of acting like we're over here and the young people over here, but I'm struggling with that today.
Oh, 100%.
Like, what if it blows up?
100%.
Right? What if the right person sees it and it blows up? Now I'm scared. Like, I'm scared of that success in a way, but I know that it has to be the next step.
You know what's scary, Luke? I think this is a unique thing. I'd love to talk with you about it on another podcast if you invite me back. But I think it's interesting that for some people, it's easier to be successful with the masses and the crowds because it's easier to hide. But what if your whole calling in life, let's say mine, yours, and Isaac, our whole calling in life was to do what we did so that one person can impact the masses more than we could? Would we still be content with it? Like, I think it's interesting because when you do something so crazy and awesome and everyone's cheering for you, it's easy to hide who you really are, because now you're doing everything to please them. But when it's the
You're
one
doing
person,
what you think they want to see.
exactly. And so, and I'm not saying that's bad. I'm not here like, I'm not salty about famous. No, like if they know me, trust me, I'm not. I love my family, my life. I'm good. I'm just having a blast making stuff. It's great. But I go, because I look at that and I go, what if through the things I've done, whether it's the music, the art, the brand stuff, all that, whatever. And I go, what if it was just for the few that really got it and ran with it and were inspired enough to do something about it? Would I be content? Would I be able to go to the grave and go, oh, that was worth it? Right? I think it's a weird dance, man. And I think a lot of people have to be honest with themselves, because when we talk about the word viral, I know a lot of bad things that went viral.
Yeah.
So just because something is popular or something goes viral doesn't make it good, doesn't make it life living, and doesn't make it positive. Like, it's just funny though, in our world, it does equate to success though. Even being viral of something negative is a form of success for some reason. And it's weird to me. I'm like, but I want peace in my life, dude. Like I want to be able to walk outside, enjoy the air, smell the flowers, and not miss out. And I think we're in a world where you can get caught up as someone who makes stuff or builds stuff or brands stuff or has something. You kind of get caught up in the measure of success, to your point, that is skewed and not real. And it's an interesting dance, bro. I think it's just an interesting dance. So.
Yeah. We're going to take a break in just a minute. Close this out. What are your thoughts?
It's great. No, man, everything that we've been talking about is soaking it up, taking it up, hanging. So I guess we'll see you back here in a sec.
Hello, and welcome back to the Proclamation Podcast. I'm your host, Luke Noland, and we are here with our good friends, Gill and Isaac.
Sir Luke's alive.
Hello.
Thank you, Luke, for having us.
Hello,
So
kids.
we were talking about, before the break, being around other people succeeding and thriving, and then trying to pursue our own success, but not getting stopped by the obstacles. And Isaac, I want to ask you about what it's like to be a part of watching other people go from zero to hero, so to speak. And what's that like, first of all, because not a lot of people have been in your shoes in that way. And then how do you keep pursuing your own dreams while you're helping build somebody else's dream?
Yeah, man. It's always... it's really cool to be on the back end of and see someone's success, right? You're traveling the world and seeing big major tours, or you're meeting all these people. But what I love doing in my own personal life is being able to take what I'm learning, day in, day out on tours, or getting to meet certain people at their house, like Fetty Wap or some of these people, but being able to talk to them and having engaging conversations. And sometimes those conversations lead into success. And so then I look at that and go, man, how could I apply that here?
Yeah.
And I look at some of my own stuff that I've been able to take on. And one of the artists that I worked with, he was really cool with me going out and doing my own thing, really encouraged it a lot. And so I ended up building out my own company because of people that I knew from him with clients and all this kind of stuff. So a lot of my clients became, sports agencies, NFL players, and all these other, NBA players, and doing after parties because they saw the stuff that I was doing with this artist, and they were like, dude, you can do this. And
you can do that for me.
You can do that for us. Yeah. And so I think that was like the really cool part, was being able to do that, is being encouraged. And that was the coolest part, because I've always worked with interesting people between organizations and all this other stuff, but I never actually got to work with someone that actually said, hey, I want to encourage you to go do something outside of here too, and go have as much fun as too. And you can go make as much money as you want. It's usually you grind out here and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You better be sold out for us.
You better be sold out for us. And if I see you out there doing other side hustle stuff,
It's over.
It's over, bro.
Yeah.
It's not cool. And so working with this artist that I worked with at the time for the last 3 years was so cool, man, because he did a lot of motivational speaking. So like he was doing TED Talks, all these crazy events, man, like crazy speaking engagements with like Tony Robinson's friends, Gary Vee folk. I mean, dude, we're doing like Microsoft conferences. So we're meeting like some of the biggest keynote speakers in the world, man. And some of these guys actually became some of my friends too, throughout the years. And so, but it was always cool because everybody else wanted to see you win. And it was, it's general market, right?
Do you feel like that's a common denominator among those people? that's something that they're all doing, is they just want to see other people win.
Yeah. I think that's like the industry can be kind of cutthroat at times, right? But when you break the surface, right? Because everybody's at surface level, they keep you at bay. But once you break that down and you get into their world and you become their friends, then stuff starts to open up with them even more. And they start to genuinely care about you because they realize that you care about them so much.
Dang.
And for some odd reason, I've been able to build a lot of crazy relationships because of caring, right? Because they don't see like no hidden agenda with me. And so it was because the artist trusts me with his own personal relationship. So then now I can get this NBA player, this NFL player, the sports agency, these people's after, this person's after party, plan this, plan that, produce this show. And it was because they saw the trust value. Man, that guy actually genuinely cares about his artist. He's actually looking out for him, and I had multiple conversations with a lot of big clients all over the country, even with like some of Michelle Obama's like folks too, that were like, man, we never met anybody that genuinely cares about people. Man, you care so much about, you want to see us win. You're not even paid to go do this for us, but you're doing it because you want to see us win at the end of the day, and we're working with like Title I schools, but they were like, they had certain things. It's a really cool organization that she has, but it was, you're going in like Title I, the worst schools in Chicago, man. Yeah. And the artists basically, they have Dave Matthews as an artist. Like they're adopting all these schools around the country, all Title I, really terrible schools, like bad schools, man, like murder capital of the country. And you don't have any of the luxury stuff when you show up to these schools. It's like you showing up to a little portable sound system, and let's just say hypothetically Dave Matthews or one of these artists are performing for the kids, and then talking to them about potential of this and that. And so you see all this kind of stuff, and then you're like, dang, I got to actually work with this little stuff. Mm-hmm. And then you just dive in there because you want the best. And when people see that, in you, are like, dang, this guy actually genuinely cares. Even if it's a small PA system, people see that, and I feel like a lot of times, a lot of people have those hidden agendas. And so they don't get that far. Yeah. They only get to a certain point, and then it's like, people see right through it. And for me, in my own personal life and traveling and touring has been like, no motives, just let me just be me. And so I've been able to, in those 3 years that I was traveling, starting up businesses and doing all this stuff on the back end, I was touring full time, had a family, had a kid. My kid was traveling. My wife was traveling with me. And so I was able to start all this stuff up, but it was because, I was encouraged, and I was encouraged by that artist to go do that kind of stuff. And it was very cool, man. Like,
did you have bosses who didn't do that?
I had a lot of bosses that were like very, man, I would get to a certain point and then it would be like, let's calm them down.
Time to talk.
Let's chill out.
Lower the ceiling.
Let's not blow this. Let's just say this organization's group up. I used to do like ministry stuff too. And that's how I knew Gill too. I mean, I've ran a lot of ministry stuff. I've taken 0 to 1,200 to 1,600 kids within a span of 6 months. And I've done it multiple different times. And so I've always felt like I've always been shoot down, like, no, chill. And you're just like, our budget's cut or this or that. And you're just like, dude. So it was the first time ever in those 3 years of just working with this dude where I was just like, dang, I can run free as hard as I can. And then I can actually produce a show for this guy. And then, we were on a tour last year, big major tour with a pretty big band. And it was like, dude, I had the freedom to do a lot of cool stuff, dude. And I think that was the coolest part of being able to work in the general market too, because everybody, like, the expectation of doing excellence is like very, very high, dude. Like, you're pretty much, if you screw up, you're pretty much getting canned on the spot. You're going to go fly yourself back home. Bye. Yeah. There's no room for mess ups because you're doing an NFL event. You're doing commercials. You're doing stuff for Disney or Lion King. It's big money, man. And a lot of people don't understand that game, And so, my heart is this excellence, and do the best that I can and genuinely care about everything, and, really just be the hands and feet of Jesus. Right. And so,
all those cliches.
I had to do that, because You
know what's funny about that though, Isaac, is the hands and feet are the dirtiest parts.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones on the ground and the ones in the mud. So a lot of people don't like that. And Isaac does a lot of the stuff people don't want to do so other people can succeed. So that's why that phrase has more meaning than people think.
Yeah, and I use that a lot, because it's one of those things like Gill is saying. It's like, it's a grindy thing, but I feel like, we're going back to this other conversation where kids want this stuff so fast, but a lot of people don't want to put in that work. They don't want to put in the time. They don't want to.
When did you start to get it? Like at what age?
I think
because you're only 25 now, right?
No, I'm actually 35, bro.
45.
10 more years on top of that. Shoot, Daddy's getting old. A couple white hairs, a couple more kids.
Clock, bro.
But I think people need
I was
that.
working late night last night with my China clients.
They need.
Early there, late here, bro.
You made money from China?
I made money from China.
Okay, just to be clear,
China and day trading.
Just to be very clear. Follow him, Isaac Lorenzo, Instagram.
Yeah, follow me. You'll see my life day in, day out. And then I ride.
Literally every day.
You guys ride hard.
Yeah, we ride. We ride hard. But yeah, so bicycles, not Harleys. Man.
I wish I had a
Harley,
Luke. I love your timing. 3, 2, 1. Bicycles.
It's totally. I'm naturally this funny. There's no
bicycles.
supplements.
Got it. Okay.
But yeah, going back to that was, I really felt that freedom, dude. Like, I think in my last employer, I talked to Gill about this too, because he was working at a different he was working at the same organization that he's working at now, but different location. But I got to talk to him and his good friend too, and some of the stuff that I was facing, and I was just like, man, I want more for my life. I'm tired of being held back. I'm tired of you can't go do that, or that's too much, or you took this thing and now let's just say hypothetically this budget that was set, now it's a lot bigger budget because now you have over 1,600 kids. Now that budget is exploding really big, right? Yeah. And so now it's like, so I've always felt, I think it really hit hard, dude. It was so funny because at that time I was actually started listening to Gary Vee, and it was like amazing. 6 years ago. Yeah, dude, I was listening to him like 6 years ago. And so I was facing certain things at that employer too. And not in a bad way. It was great stuff. I was learning a lot, and I always take everything.
Some of it's inside you, some of it's them.
Yeah. So, I always take.
It's a dance.
It's a dance, dude. It's totally a dance. And this guy, dude, he gets me. He's good at it, bro. And for me, it was tough for me, and so I started listening to Gary Vee, and it was a lot of, he was talking about self-awareness. And it just really hit me so hard, dude, about self-awareness and what's going on and around me within my organization, but in my own personal self too. Yeah. And what I really wanted, and I know that things needed to change, and I wanted something so much more. And at that time, dude, it was so weird because I was working for this organization, and then for some odd reason, I got back into the music industry on the back end, and I started getting more clients and all this kind of stuff. And then I was just like, dude, it's time, man. It's time, And I remember talking to Gill and his good friend too, Robbie Quick, and was talking to them, and dude, it's that time to go and go do something else, and because I just felt like it was that time. It was, it's uncomfortable, I always say that it's uncomfortable, and you're just like, it's time for me to go. And that was the best decision that I've ever made, was to go. And from there, it led into crazy opportunities. Our good friends called me up and were like, hey, dude, we have this job for you to go on the road. You can either work, you can come work here with us, or like, we have this dope job that you can go work on the road with this artist. So I was like, cool, I'll take the artist. And you're doing flying. You can fly your family out, do fly-ins, get to fly out. You're not touring as much. It's more fly out dates. Right. And so that's where, I encountered this gentleman that I was working with, and all the people that I was around, dude, were so inspiring. I mean, like, we're talking Drake, French Montana, all these like huge hip hop artists. Like, a lot of people would be like, oh, dude, I bet they're like this. And I was just like, dude, I've never encountered that from a lot of these people. They were just like, they genuinely like were super dope to talk to, meet, hang out with. And then like, hanging out with big CEOs too, you know, and being able to sit at their house in La Jolla, you know, it was a $15 million house and sitting there and you're over looking at La Jolla and you're able to talk to the family and talk to the husband about, you know, and my daughter's playing in their living room, or they had like a little playroom, and no joke, it's like the size of Foursquare.
It's a playhouse.
Yeah.
It was like a playhouse
That's
inside their
her
house.
Literally
inside
like a
their house. They had
playhouse.
their own stage, a little line array,
crap.
PA, like moving fixtures, like crazy stuff, dude. Like this was their house. But like, it was so cool because he took the time, right, to talk to me. And he's just like, man, yeah. So the artist told me that you do all this other stuff on the side and all this kind of stuff. And it was so cool, man, because I've ran into that gentleman multiple times in like Vegas, other shows. He owns a casino too. And so their family owns a casino. No big deal.
Owns a casino. That's all.
They own like a crazy amount of Orange County too. They're really in the development area.
What we call an owner.
Yeah, right.
Not an operator.
Not an operator.
He's an owner
AKA
of many.
dada.
Operator, please.
Data.com.
Actually, his dad is, but you know, but whatever.
Whatever.
But yeah, dude, it's one of those things where that's when it hit, you know, and I was just like, dude, I am free
How old
to
were you?
think. I was in 2016 or 17? But like before that, that's when the self-awareness started happening when I was at that other employer, and it just started kicking in, dude. And I was just like, dude, change this. I want to work for somebody sick, man. I want to work with someone inspiring.
I think that's important for people to hear, is that most of us don't really figure out until our early 30s who we're meant to be and what we really want to do. Because a lot of people are sitting at home right now and they're 16, 17, 18, 23, 26, and they're saying, why haven't I been given the thing yet?
Mm-hmm.
Why hasn't someone handed me success yet?
Mm-hmm.
Or why can't I get past this milestone or this, you know, like obstacle? Like I can't get over 1,000 followers. I can't get over 10,000 followers. Whatever their marker is that they're setting for themselves, which is probably negative for them to even be setting that marker, they feel like they have to get over it now.
Yeah.
And I think it's great for people to hear from us. Like I know for myself, it wasn't until I was 30 and I was standing in line at the grocery store at Rayleigh's having this interaction with the clerk. And I realized when I walk away from this conversation, this clerk is going to have a perception of me as a person and who I am. And this is the first time I feel like I genuinely showed myself who I was, someone, a stranger, who I was. Like the interaction I just had, the banter that we just had, that's the way I want people to remember me. And I was 30. I wasn't 21.
Totally.
I didn't really know who I was until that
You ever
point.
notice, bro, like almost everything around us, either in nature or in craft, is better with time and the proper process.
Totally.
Coffee. Insta coffee is not as good as a nice pour over. And that's not me promoting a certain brand. That's like me talking about how coffee is made. Wine gets better with age. Everything is better in the due time and proper process. George Clooney obviously looks like he's fake. You're fake.
He's hot, dude.
You were like not a real man. On the third day, God made George, apparently. Shout out to my mom. Loves George. Anyway,
who doesn't?
Clooney fan has her email, which is weird. Whatever. Mom, still love you.
I think he's hot.
You do.
Shoot.
But I and even listening to Isaac, I think just because I've known Isaac a long time, I think one of the things that I saw from the outside in his journey was he's in understanding the value of himself. He saw the value he could bring to someone else and out of them. And I think that's important. But like I said, those aren't sexy. Those aren't sexy freaking titles of a newspaper or an article. Like how to be a better you and help others be better too. Like no one cares. Not many people care.
That actually sounded pretty catchy.
It did, right? You're welcome. That's a free one at Girilla. No,
Put
but
that
like,
on the quotes
I think
board.
quotes of the day. No, but I think about that for a second. I like just hearing Isaac, being friends with Isaac, being friends with you. What young people don't get is what we build and what we create should actually get better as we get old. In fact, it should be great when we're dead because it was always constantly growing. It's like we should never, like, I feel bad for a lot of people who live in yesteryear because, man, when I was young, it was dope. And you're like, cool, what are you doing now?
Yeah.
If you're only known for what you did in the past, and I'm not judging anyone, I'm saying that's me. That's how I look at myself in the mirror. That's what drives me is I go, I'm 39 and I feel like I'm creating and I have the best relationships I've had yet. You know, like the best art so far, the most meaningful things I'm creating now. and understanding my why and my value. Like that's as I get older, not with time by itself, but with the process. Like, I don't want to rush anything just to get a quick fix. And I think that's America's favorite drug.
They want the fast.
Yeah. It's like, give me the quick high, give me the quick success so I can live off that.
Give me the big truck.
Which is crazy though, bro. Think about that. Like when you talk about that as a drug, like that leads to overdose and that leads to burnout and that leads to loneliness and that leads to depression. Like there's a reason why anxiety and depression is the highest it's ever been. One, with the media outlets, you can hear about it more. Yes. But the accessibility to things that feel that are at an all-time high. Right. So if I don't know my value, I don't know my why.
That all this stuff would make us happier.
Right. Exactly. Or even success. Like you would think, to Isaac's point.
You liked my photo.
Yeah.
You like me.
Exactly. To Isaac's point, with who he's been in relationships with and what he's seen, even they will tell you there's got to be more to life.
Yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing, because a lot of people think like,
I'm going to steal some of your coffee.
The money, this, that. And, it's work, bro. It's work. People don't understand that. They think like, oh my gosh, that YouTuber, that kid YouTuber is killing it. And then you see the YouTuber kid at the YouTube studio in LA driving his Maserati, but he's first thing early in the morning there at like 7 a.m. But he just slayed out a session the night before.
He's grinding.
He's grinding, bro. And he's like 16 years old. People don't understand that. People think like these YouTube stars, these kids are like
their daddy did it.
Their daddy did it, or they just slayed it away and they just made it, And a lot of people don't understand. People are like in the social media game are putting day in, day out to content create, just to create.
So what? Let me ask you, what are they trading off?
Dude, their lives, man. Like these people.
Well, it's all over too, right? It's contextual to what they.
Right. Like, a lot of these people love them to death, but it's their lives, dude. They don't really sometimes have a life. You talk to them, and I've had people straight up, dude, in the industry go, yo, how do you do it? Like, and you're like, yo, what do you mean? How do I do it? And I've had Gill. How do you have a family and kids and you're able to do all this kind of stuff? And that's like, it's priority at the end of the day. This is my family. I'm not going to come home and go party or stay out in LA and go to this after party or go to this party or go do that or travel here. You know what I mean? Like, my responsibility is my family. So at the end of the day, I know my priorities, and I feel like, not saying they don't know their priorities, but a lot of people see like, different priorities, but they see like, dang, this guy's happy. He's not balling over here.
He's light, like he's not heavy.
He's not heavy
like
with all this stuff that I got on.
Yeah, he's light.
But like, you mean this kind of balling, right? Not this kind of balling.
That kind of balling. Okay. It's kind of whatever kind of balling. But they see like, dang, dude, he can juggle this crazy lifestyle of managing people, right? Because that's what I'm doing. I'm doing like, I'm a adult babysitter. That's what I was doing. I call it
boss baby.
A boss baby. You know what I mean? Telling people, scheduling stuff, and then being able to, boss baby
podcast,
and then being able to turn it off and go be a dad, and then give my kids all that I can give. You know what I mean? Even times where I knew that there was times where I can fly them out to Florida because I want to be with them, or I can fly them out to LA and be with them before I hit the road again. Or fly them out to Louisiana. And like for many years, I was flying my family out to Louisiana to stay there with my family. And then I would come in, work from there, come out like back and forth out of Baton Rouge and New Orleans. So I was like in and out, but it was those priorities. You know what I mean? It was those things. And sometimes you do hear some of these artists that like people will go, oh my gosh, they fly on Liros and all this kind of stuff. It's because a lot of these people want to be back home with their family. Aretha Franklin, like all these other like artists,
it's not like as much about sipping champagne at 40,000 feet.
Right. No, it's like, I need to get back home. I want to sleep in my bed. I want to wake up to my kids. You find a lot of artists doing that, and then you find other people that don't want to do that. So like, it's the balance game. But I had a lot of people always ask me like, dude, how do you do it, man? Like, even like, even with like cheating, like I've had people ask me that too. Like, dude, how do you not cheat? You got all these chicks and you're like, I got a family, man. I know where my priorities are at.
You also like in a part of that family, just because I know him, I can see this from the outside and inside with him, is he's also made a intentional decision to circle himself around people who are going to call him on his crap.
Right.
And who are going to be like, I think a lot of people, to what you said of what people lose is they lose the intentionality of true community, healthy community and friends.
Big time.
You know, like who are going to love him when he's an idiot
and that
and
may
call him
not
out.
all be their fault because
No,
as
right.
they gain in fame,
Oh,
the people
100%.
around them might change.
Yeah,
But
and that does change.
But that also goes, I think that also still comes back to the why. Like, what are you wanting? Because if you're wanting this end goal and it's going to cost all those things, you may not know it given, but are you intentionally surrounding yourself with the people that can help you along the way to not lose it? And that's why I say, like,
it's a balance act.
It's a balance
act, man.
It's a
like
dance, bro.
I think
This episode's called The Dance.
Right. Even like going back to what he was saying, like there was, dude, when I was on the road a lot, I would see so much crap.
Oh, man.
Like so much crazy. But I would like dump it on him. Like not in a bad way.
Totally
But I'd be like, I would call him out.
I'm a listener. Hey, I'm his Dr. Gill, bro.
Yeah, Dr. Gill.
Not even close. I am not a doctor. I'm a friend.
Yeah, but
That's
like
my dude.
I would call him
That's
up all the time because like my thing was we worked in so many different marketplaces. You would see all kinds of stuff. It was not like you were like, oh, today you're working in the country. You're working for the CMAs. Like we did stuff with like Country Music Association, did the CMA Awards, all this kind of stuff. Like one day you can be from there, all of a sudden
New York,
a ratchet music video, you know, with a bunch of chicks, you know, or like some hip hop concert, you know, or like an after party, Jordan's after party, you know, at the All-Star games, and Travis Scott's there performing, you know, and they're bussing people in. It's like weird, man. But like, you know, like it was a lot of times like, dude, I had to go to church, bro. Like I had to go to church because it was so like heavy, dude.
Yeah.
Like the world that I was around. And so like I would call Gill up, you know, and like even for my wife, she'd be like, wait, what? You know, and I'm like, dude, this happened, you know, this, that, you meant that, you know. But it was just like, you know, it was that balancing act, you know, because I knew that my boys were gonna keep me humble, you know, they were gonna keep me always on track or encourage me, you know, when I was like tough, dude. Like I remember when I was just done with the road and I just was like, dude, Gill. And I was in Dallas, Texas, and I was just like, dude, I was about to just like cry. And I'm like, dude, I am done with this crap. I need to be home. And he, like right before I hit a second leg of the road, he's just like, bro, it's time to be a father, bro. It's time to be a father. Get off the road. You need to be back home with your kids, you know? And that hit me, dude. Even my father told me too, you know, he's just like, it's great. You're making great money. You got this other business that you're running too. You got this going. You got all this crap going.
You're crushing it.
Yeah, dude. Like, you know, I had a show in Alabama, and then I had a show back here in Sac that was running that I hired a bunch of my production guys here to run. And, you know, G-Eazy was there, P-Lo, Ty Aller signed, you know, like all these hip hop artists were at this after party here in Sac. And I was running it from Alabama, bro, you know, and that was my life. I was like running crazy and it was just like, but I needed someone to come to and go, dude, chill. This family needs you. You know, it's cool that you're taking them out. It's dope that they're flying all over the place. Your kids are getting to see the country, but your family needs you. And then it was one of those things where I'm like, and sometimes you need those man talks. Sometimes you don't want to hear it, you know, because you're like, nope, your pockets are full. You know what I mean? And
sometimes Isaac goes ghost and I know why.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Like,
I mean,
it's
where you at. Yeah. So like, it's one of those things where you need those folks in your life, dude, like Gill and some of the other boys in my life too, that were like, yo, this is where you need to be, you know? And so, but a lot of people don't want to have that in their life. You know, a lot of people don't want to have that accountability, especially like when the fame comes along. It's like, they don't want to answer to nobody. Nope. You know, it's just like, cool. My manager, great. Yes, no, that's it. No, I'm going to do whatever I want, you know? And so for me, like I wanted to create those boundaries in my own personal life, you know, and make sure like I just wasn't going with the flow, you know what I mean? And setting myself apart. And, and he would always, hey man, how are you doing? How's everything? What do we need to talk about? Because you needed that. Like I needed it so much, dude. Like I honestly was just like, let's go to church, honey. I need to go to church.
Sometimes
I need to get all this sin off of me, you know, that I've been around, you know? And so
it was heavy on you though. It was very heavy on you.
It was very heavy, dude. I was coming always drained and emotionally drained because, you know, it's a lot of, left. You're juggling a lot. And so, you know, I would say to a lot of kids out there that are, you know, that are trying to go do stuff, you know, hip hop artists, whatever it could be, you know what I mean? Circle up, get your circle right with people in your life that love you and genuinely care about you, because that matters the most, man. And when everybody else fails you, when, you know, your team screws you over or whatever happens, you have those solid friends that go, dude, I'm ride or die with you, bro. I love you. You're dope. But I'm here to walk this out with you. And, that's huge, man. That's so huge. And that's helped me out with my own personal journey and my own personal life. And it's helped both of us out, you know, is having good friends around us that will call us on our shit, you know, that we don't want to hear it, but at the end of the day, we need to hear it. Even if we're being a little, you know, and, I think at the end of the day, like, that's what we need. You know, if you want to be successful, if you want to ride hard, you need accountability. You need people in your life that are going to run, like, not saying run with your business, but like run with you to love on you, to talk to you, to check in with you. But then you also got to give that back and go, yo, bro, how are you doing? How's everything? How's life? What do I need to do to help you see you succeed? And a lot of people don't want to do that because that's work, you know, and a lot of younger cats.
And it's opening themselves up.
And it's being vulnerable, bro.
Dude. Like,
that's like the biggest thing is like vulnerability, you know, and
which leads to what you really value.
Right.
And that's the thing, bro. Like, so Isaac made a choice going, cool, are my kids going to remember all the airplane rides? Or are they going to remember that daddy was never home?
Right.
Never present, right?
Damn, that's good. Yeah.
And that's why, like, for all of us at this age, like, I mean, call us old or whatever, I don't care. I think we're making some of the dopest decisions and things in life. We're still getting going. Like, that's why I think that's what helps us look forward, is we're not drained and dead by the past. And it's what we value. So if we value family, then no matter what we make that is dope is not more value than my kids looking in my eye, knowing daddy loves me, daddy's got me. You have to know why. And you have to know what you want. And you got to remember, at the end of the day, if I have millions in the bank account, but I'm a loser dad, it don't mean nothing. It means nothing. Because as someone who walks with young people, even to this day, man, the words and the power that's in a family, a mother or a father or a woman or a man, adult, really living out what truly matters. Like, dude, we walk life with young cats whose parents are famous and wealthy, and it's great that you can say I've accomplished things and made a lot of money. You're also in a country that allows that. That's why I'm not impressed by anybody. I think that's a healthy thing for me. Is I used to be starstruck. Now I'm like, I care about the soul. I care about the human, you know, because
what's underneath that shell.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of people that are awesome and gifted, but I go, there's a lot of gifted people that are dying inside. And there's a lot of gifted people that have a horrible home life. And I go, so do I just say, oh, but their music's dope or their art is dope or they have a lot of money? Like, no. And I think that's, you know, in our relationship, we've seen that it's a constant reminder. So like the things that our kids are going to remember are like, hey, remember when you and Isaac used to take us to the park and ride skateboards down a grass hill? Hey, remember when, you know, Zuri would ride a bike at her house? Like that being dads, dude, like being dads. It, like my mentor, shout out to Larry Acosta, has this saying that he has two of them. One is the best shepherds smell like their sheep, which is like, I'm riding that to the grave, Larry. But the other one is to be famous to few. Because when you're famous to few, you actually know the names and the stories and the values of each other, and you can help each other. When you're just solely famous to the masses, you're but a shell, dude. And I think that's like, for us in this stage in life, we're not doing what we do to provide just solely to the masses to be famous and wealthy. We're not saying any of those are wrong. What we're saying is we're at a season in life where we go, dang, like what's valuable to us is the home, is the relation with our spouses. Man. It's the kids. And I know the young cats don't get that because they're not mothers or fathers yet. The problem is you will be, though. And if you're creating habits and rhythms in your life that lead you, so when that day comes, you're not in tune with it and you're not vulnerable and your value system is messed up, well, what do you expect?
It's hard it's a hard one to, you know, to fix. You know what I mean? A lot of people try to come back to it and you're like, damn, I can't fix that. You know, it's that balancing act.
How'd I get here, right?
How did I get here?
How'd I get here? Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, it's tough, dude. It's like, you know, especially when you're married, you have kids, and you're used to grinding out how you usually are. But then at the end of the day, there's other obligations.
Yeah.
You know, gymnastics.
Other people need you.
Other people need you. My wife needs me. My kids need me. You know,
what you doing, Isaac?
Oh,
I got gymnastics at 9 and 10. Gil, what you doing? Oh, I gotta pick up Rocco. We're gonna go play catch. Oh, okay, maybe I'll meet you at the park. Like it's legitimately balancing, juggling, and dancing.
Yeah.
Like it's 100% that, you know. And
Do you think there's anything wrong with spinning plates?
no, and I'll tell you why.
Me either.
Yeah.
I think it has a bad rep. I think the problem is most people want to be great at everything they touch when sometimes it's putting certain things on hold to allow it to permeate so that when it's back on the grill or whatever, or back in your hands, it's better than it was because you're able to focus on it. I think there's a balance. A lot of people don't. I'll say it this way. I think a lot of people, once again, want everything they do to be amazing, but they're not willing to put it on hold or put it away or wait
Until it
or
is.
yeah. And like it's wisdom, like knowing that, yo, you can do all these things, but is this one really matter right now?
Something has to sacrifice.
Yeah, and you have to know that with everything. Yeah. Like even if you chose one, there's things that you're gonna have to let go of for that one. It don't matter. And
Like
I think,
getting married.
like getting married. And I think in pursuing
Yeah, dude.
a healthy relationship, that means, bro, every day you have to have a funeral. And what I mean by that is every day something you has to die so that something else can live. You get to choose that. Now, if ultimately you want your marriage, and I'm not judging anybody, I walk friends through this. We've all experienced hardships and all that, and that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you want a healthy marriage, then you're gonna have to have a funeral every day.
Yeah, you got to put in the work, man.
Every freaking day. Something in you has to die.
But you get to have a wedding every day.
Exactly. And that's the other thing. So the reason is it's not like this morbid picture of someone has to die and it's sad. It's that, no, because when that's put to sleep, something else can live.
Yeah.
That's the part people forget is like,
I think it's it's like clay is a great analogy for this type of thing. Is like, if you just have a lump of clay and you just leave it sitting there, it will always be a lump of clay. It'll always be safe and secure, and it'll always just stay what it is. But if you want to mold it and shape it into something else,
gotta cut away.
It's going to have to stop being a lump of clay. It's going to have to get colored. It's going to have all these things done to it, and then it's going to get put in the fire, and then it will never be able to be the thing that it was before. And I think that's what hurts when people like end relationships, whether we're talking about marriage or friendships and stuff, is like you can't just break that pot apart and make it back into clay. Yep. It will always be just broken shards.
Yeah. And even with friendships, I'm glad you brought that one up. I think even when you make the right decision, like someone's going to be hurt by it. So you just have to know that it's always worth it in the end to do the right thing and let the right thing die or chip away the right thing. Because once again, not everyone is living your life. Not everyone has your dreams. Not everyone has your calling. Like, so, there's decisions I made with jobs that I've turned down that were more money in different areas. But I know that right now in this season, I'm working with urban youth because I was an urban youth. I'm a product of people saying that young man's worth investing in. And it's not a glamorous job, but I don't care. Like, and there's people that are frustrated that I didn't choose the art industry like I could have. Like I had people tell me that. They were like, "You're blowing it." I was like, "Oh, thanks, guys. I'm blowing it." And I was like, "I don't think I'm blowing it." I have a healthy family. I have a great relationship with my kids and my spouse. And I go, what else do I need? So everyone's trying to tell you, even the ones who love you. Yeah, but everyone who loves you, right? All your friends are telling you what you need. Okay. The real ones are going to be ride or die through it all.
No matter what.
And they'll even love you when like they were right. They're not going to gloat about being right. They're going to walk you through that. And then together that's different. But once again, you can't look at it like I'm so attached to what people think of me. I'm so attached to what all this is that I'm gonna make every decision based on that. Like valuing healthy relationships means what, Luke? We've talked about this before, but like when when sharpening a sword, like that's a blade and a stone. That's tension.
Right.
Yeah.
That's friction. Like that's sparks. Like
it's not metal on butter.
It's not metal on butter. Like that doesn't do anything for any of it. Right. It just gets messy. So when we think about that, we go like your craft, like your job, like it's gonna be messy.
It's gonna be some chipping away.
And the best pieces of art that are of sculpture had to take courage to slice something away. Because here's why. The artists saw the end result. The bystanders in the rock. The bystanders are just anticipating, critiquing, and either fans or not, whatever. They're the ones like not seeing that. You have to chip it away, and they're not going to understand it because they want to see. They want the end result. They don't want to do the process. The artist, the authentic artist, is enjoying every paint stroke because on a naked canvas, they know every stroke has a purpose. Every stroke matters. In fact, they know that at the end result, the thing that you don't see, and they put a little dot or whatever on it, they know that was missing.
Yeah.
But you have to have the courage and the boldness to go, that matters. That's of value to me. And it's just like that with choices in life, So yeah, I think what's cool about being, relationship with Isaac is he knows that I don't care what kind of job he has. Like I have friends that are professional athletes and entertainers and Grammy Award winners. I don't care. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, dude, they're a human. Like,
they're like us.
That's all like, they're just like us. And it's like, and they have, no joke, I'll just tell you, they have conversations like that with us because they're human. So they may look like they have a superpower because they have a super bank account, but they're just a human with a soul like me and you. So I think it's the value. I think that's the word for today, right? Is that value. Like you have to know your why and you have to understand your value, but don't lose sight of the people's value that are helping you or the ones you're entertaining or whatever. They have a value too.
Right.
Where are you leading them, man? So that's good stuff.
You're talking about an artist enjoying every part of the process, enjoying every brushstroke, enjoying the mistakes, enjoying covering up the mistakes, or just embracing the mistakes. Would you guys speak a little bit to your belief system? Do you believe that there is higher power, that there is an artist who's painting your life and who enjoys that process?
Yeah. You want to go first, bro?
Jesus Christ. I love you, God.
Oh, you're so
Hashtag Modesto.
That's the homie right there.
Sorry, dude. I had to do that.
He's a good dude.
So, yeah. We just have Pastor Gill. You know what I mean? Shit, man.
I am just Gill, bro. Gilrilla.
No, Pastor Gill. Let's call him Pastor Gill.
I think it's obvious with some of the stuff we've been saying. If not, like, Isaac and I share a brotherhood that goes beyond the physical on earth where, we believe that we are humans with a soul and there's an author and creator that is beyond more creativity than we ever were. We are believers in Jesus Christ. We are Christians. Yeah. And I think a lot of what we say and do, even in our jobs, stems from believing that there's something greater than us. I think it takes a lot of humility and a lot of moments in life where you're like, dang, I'm not that dope. I'm not that strong. I'm not that wise. But something has ownership and is writing the narrative of my purpose. And we associate a lot of what we do to that, the value of family, the value of friends, the value of even creativity. I think a lot of people use creativity as a method to be known by people when rather we see it as a means to communicate truth and value to people.
That's good.
That's a difference. Isaac and I will never be identified by our jobs or positions. As a pastor, I have no authority over anything other than any other person on this planet. In fact, on another episode, I'd love to debunk the what a pastor is really called to do and what a job is. I just love people. I was talking with a father yesterday about students making some not wise choices, and they asked me in fear, you can kind of tell of, well, what do you believe in about my daughter or son with making these choices? And I said, I love their heart. Like Jesus never was intimidated or focused on the sin of people. He focused on the heart because he paid for our sin. And we're in constant rebellion. The flesh that we wear, Luke, every day, and our soul inside is in constant tension. It's a constant battle and dance because what we want as a flesh, as a human, is far different than what God wants. So we're just two dudes like loving people, loving God, and trying to go like, hey, how can we have a good time? How can we love our families? And how can we just be people that, despite differences and stuff, find unity and onboard people to who they are, like in God's eyes, which he sees them as worth dying for. He sees them as purposeful and creative. I think, man, when someone we're all creatives, first of all. I just think when someone taps into their identity and the one who made them, they're going to be more creative and free than anything they've ever experienced.
Yeah. And I think that's like the biggest thing, dude, is really truly finding your identity in Christ. You know, a lot of people are trying to find their identity in so many different things.
And things we make.
Like, dude, this is me, you know,
like,
but
no, it's not.
dude, you can have all that. But if you don't have your identity fully in Christ, bro, you're just doing something, you know? And I think that's like been my biggest thing, is really knowing where my security is found in, and it's found in Jesus.
Yeah.
And dude, it's cool, man. Cause we both I've done ministry for a long time. He's done ministry longer than me, but you know, before all that, I was doing ministry too. I mean, it's always ministry. I always consider every single day. You know what I mean?
I'll call you out on that, bro.
Lies getting laid out every single day. That's what we do, baby. You know what I mean? Dad style, bro.
Oh, dang it, dude.
Fall.
Oh,
I'm just joking, bro. No, seriously though.
Is that allowed?
Huh?
I think people don't think you're allowed to joke about stuff.
So you can joke about stuff, you know. So here's the thing. This is what I love, dude. This is me. Right here. I love.
You know where he's going, huh?
Yo, I love stiff people. When I say stiff,
we should just push our mics away.
Yeah, push your mic away, bro. You're all gonna get in trouble. I love stiff people. Like, I love people that are uptight.
I'm not making you that shirt. I love stiff people.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, you know, hipster kids. You know, they're like super stiff.
Will that be on the website tomorrow?
Can we get that? Yeah, I think we should.
Sorry.
Stiff series.
Stiffer.
Stiffer chicken. All right, go, bro. We're losing it.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Can't do this.
We only have 45 minutes left.
Can't do this.
45 minutes?
I'm kidding.
I know we're on the 30 minute.
Yeah, we're
deal.
good.
I'm
You're
kidding.
good.
We're broke the 30
I mean,
minute.
we're out of coffee. We're definitely gonna have to do another round.
Dear Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I love meeting people that are straight, like just hard, you know?
Yeah.
Stiff and hard, you know what I mean?
I got you.
I think we're clear. I think we're good, guys.
All right. So
I think we're good.
we're gonna edit that out.
You don't like hanging
check this out.
in the morgue.
Yeah, check this out. I love meeting people that are like that because they're just like, yo, what's up? And I'm like, you good? And they're just like, yeah. Or you talk to them about music and they're like, they're so hard, you know, like, dude, I listen to 1975. I'm like, you know Depeche Mode? They're like, no. I'm like, all right, bro, chill out with your flex. All right. Music flex. But like, I love meeting
hipsters,
like people that are so stiff, dude, because I love to just like mess with them to break the ice, you know, just to say like random stuff to them, especially like music folks.
Yeah.
Like music folks are so weird, or like people that are engineers or certain people, they're just like, so I'm like, yo, what's going on? You good? Oh, yeah, I'm good. You good? You sure?
You even got the lip quiver in there.
Dude,
that was
like,
amazing.
I've been around a lot of people. I've been in the game for a long time, bro. That's like my pet peeve, bro.
His lip quiver,
if
bro.
someone is like, they got that hardness with them, especially with like music, especially musicians, bro. I slap them. I worked around them, but I can't stand them, bro. I'll slap them. Like creatives too. Like they're great, but it's just like, chill out. There's more to life than being stiff, being on your toes and thinking that you're the shit. You're not the shit. There's someone better than you out there.
Always.
Respect the game and smile, bro. There's more to life than just being so stiff and so hard and kind of, you know, comes off like a douche, you know? So that's like my big thing, dude, is like people that are so stiff, man, like especially like creatives are like that, or like, you know, here's the thing. Cause I've met a lot of artists. And that's my thing, dude. Like I met a lot of dope ass people and they could be like that, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, the creators of Lion King and all these people, and they're like the coolest people.
Yeah.
And so
then
they
don't care about anything
they don't
else
care
like
about
that.
anything else, right? But like when you meet like people that are like, yo, bro, I slay on guitar. Good shit. What's your name? You know, like
if someone says, I'd love to hear someone say that.
Yeah, no, but like, you know what I mean? Like, you just get that stiffness in you and you feel it, you know, and you're just like, dude, chill, bro.
You're saying lack of joy.
Lack of joy, bro. There's more to life than just being some hard dude that just like.
And let me say something to that, Isaac. That stems from a culture
that's being created like that.
Of like, you have to be the best or you have no value. So the reason why Isaac and I can joke around and still grind is because our value is not in just what we do. It's my identity is not in what I create. I'm a flawed human. So what I create isn't perfect. But the perfect one can use me to create things that point back to him. That's what we're saying. So you can laugh, you can joke. I think faith.
The sign to where you're going is not the thing you're going
Exactly.
to.
Right. Exactly.
We are road signs.
Exactly. And I think one of the perfect pictures of that, you use clay. I'm going to use the ring in marriage. The craftsman knows when the ring is ready and at its purest state, when he could see his reflection in it. It has to be melted first of all impurities. And then it is formed in a circular fashion, right? And then he knows it's at its best, most perfect point when he can see himself back into it. We are being refined every day, which means it's a grind. So you're going to have a funeral every day. You're gonna find things that don't matter. You're gonna fight for it, and then you're gonna smile, and
even when it hurts,
and you're gonna have to push through, and you're gonna have to endure, which we were made to do. We can go on that another time, but at the end of the day, when the master craftsman can see himself in it, then he knows it's ready, right? And I go, that's what we are. Is like we are this metal that is going through the process of having everything that doesn't matter removed so that we can be the best us we were designed to be. And in that, there's reason to have joy. Why? Because we're an imperfect thing that still has reason to be happy and still has reason to find joy in things and to grow and be better at a lot of things that maybe we're not good at now. Like it's a process, dude. Like I said, I don't think anyone deep down is going, I want to have my best moments right now, this second, and the rest of my life to suck, and the rest of my art to suck, and the rest of everything I create to fail. But at least in this one moment, it was awesome. No one who thinks that,
right?
No one does. So it's like
we're not living for one high.
No, and it's like in a culture that praises that, though. Like like I said, Isaac knows. I know different artists and stuff, and they know in that industry, you are only as good as your last single. And if that's your identity, bro, it's hey. I mean, good luck. If that's your identity, you're like, well.
It's funny you say that because I have been searching a lot of different artists lately, trying to break out of my little.
Hopefully not the 1975.
My little playlist that I just keep playing over and over.
Oh, dang. I was like, what happened?
No, because I always mess with
people. Is that his jam? Okay.
No. Because it plays in here.
What if he said Oingo Boingo or something?
Okay, whatever.
Some Dead Man's Party. Anyway, I could see Luke dancing to that.
Or Prince.
Remember when Luke had his shirt off earlier? He did
that earlier.
Gosh,
you guys just missed it. Maybe later.
And that was only one cup of coffee.
You'll see a cake jumper here in a sec.
Let me tell you.
Cake jumper.
I've been trying to break out.
What kind of music? What do you listen to?
I've been trying to break dance, but I don't have the right body.
Wait, no, really?
No.
Okay.
I've been trying to just break out and listen to new stuff.
You don't want to.
And when I search an artist, it's not their best stuff that comes up on Spotify. It's their latest single.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like,
you would think that it's like, like Purple Rain is going to be at the top, of when you search Prince.
Yeah.
And then they're playing some
or Fleetwood Mac
random thing,
It's chart topping again.
It is.
Is it really?
Especially.
Yeah, from Dogface.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But that's to your point. Like, once again, an artist, no matter what your craft is, like, and I'm only saying this because I've learned it and still in the process of learning it from people before me. This isn't like, I'm not coming at anybody saying I know. No, I'm just going like, I have found, and like, even from other artists, like, you can lose yourself in all that too. You got to go like, you ever notice that the most popular song on someone's record isn't their favorite? Most people.
Yeah.
That if you watch interviews, real talk, do some research.
My brother-in-law says that.
There you go. It's funny. It's like, and there's a reason for that. So it's like, because the masses would appreciate maybe what you don't really value.
Yeah.
Right. But that
CDG.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta find, and you gotta stay true to that in that sense of going, I'm just gonna, for example, if you're in the music and you're a songwriter, put stuff out because you love it. And then like if it's something you want to do for a living, find out the ways that you can get paid to do it, but don't lose sight of why you do it. The love, the very first love of doing it. You may have to
do 2 or 3 things at the same time.
And that's normal.
And not have one job.
And that's normal. And do it.
We live in California.
Bro, if you love it, and like, man, we talked about this, Isaac, because a lot of young people use the word, like, I'm passionate about this. And it's like, no, you're not. Like, do you wake up early or stay up late working on your craft? No. Do you do research? Do you study other people? No. Are you a writer? Yeah, I love writing. You love writing. Do you write every day? No. Like, you're not passionate about it.
You're passionate about Call of Duty.
You're passionate about all these other things, right?
DDR, Dance Dance Revolution.
You bringing it back.
I don't think they're doing that anymore.
They're shooting
or
people
Halo?
now, bro. There's a difference, okay? So here's
I don't play games,
Halo
bro.
10. There's a Halo 10.
Games are for nerds.
Yeah, right.
I'm not a gamer.
Nah, my son loves gaming.
He's a gamer,
Isaac.
bro.
Anyway, COD, Call of Duty. Anyway, Fortnite.
Dang.
Anyway,
Yes.
all right. I just think it's funny that we get caught up once again in the end result of something, and and then we wonder, like, that phrase, like, how did we get here? It's like, because you forgot why you do it, and you forgot, like, you loving it may mean it's not appreciated by the world.
Yeah, and I think going back to what you said, what we've been talking about, of basically this, everything takes time, right? Correct. Yeah. And it might not happen, and your crap might not pop off in the next year or 2 years. Yeah. I look at like one of your guys that are working for you right now. I'm not going to say his name because I didn't ask him yet if I can actually mention his name. No, don't.
I know you're talking about.
Because I don't want to get in trouble. But like,
I know he is.
He's working for you now. You know, he just came back to you recently. And I remember meeting with him right before he was transitioning to work. He wanted to learn more. He's a front of house engineer.
Totally.
And he comes to me, and this was like years ago. And I give him this Gary V video, and I go, dude, like, what are you going to do with right now? What you have right now in this time, in this moment? And he's just like, comes back to me within probably a month later, is like, dude, this is what I really want to do. This is what I'm passionate about. This is what I want to pursue. Or I'm like, dude, are you willing to put in the time? Are you willing to put in the effort to get to where you want to go? And he goes, yes. And I go, and what does that look like? He goes, well, I don't even know where to start. He's like, let me help you and storyboard this out and help you get to where you want to go. Kind of like the vision and asking those certain questions.
Just making a plan for your life.
Making a plan for him. Yeah. And helping him.
Can't take a step if you don't know which one really sometimes.
Right. Yeah. And so no joke, dude, that dude, we networked with the same guys, and I said, you're going to talk to this guy, but I want you to not just like, you're not going in there with this expectation of, I want a job. You're going with the expectations of, I want to learn more because you want to have better chops. You want to have that great ear.
No boss responds to that, by the way.
What is that?
If you're listening, no boss responds to that.
Right.
I deserve to work here.
Right.
I'm the best.
You should hire me because.
But it's so funny because a lot of people a lot of younger people feel like they need to have this like job because they're like, dude, I put this time and energy in the last 2 years into being a front house engineer. Yeah.
I have dreams.
So I need to have the top of the job, and I need to make this much money. And you're like, yo, that ain't going to happen. Sorry. You know? And so this dude got himself in, worked hard, networked hard, and then started to subcontract with a lot of amazing people, started doing front house engineer stuff. Now he's doing recording stuff, a lot of their live stream stuff. And now he's going to be taking on, more than 3-4, maybe 4 years now. Now he's in January, he's taken on a position here full-time with that organization. And so people don't understand that's 4 years now. Now we're looking of 4 years. So this dude's been slaying away, sacrificing time, energy, working here, and still doing recording, still traveling, still doing his thing and flying here, going there, helping this church out or whatnot, or this organization out. But people don't understand stuff takes time. Not everything is going to come and drop in your hat. It's not going to happen. It's rare that it does drop in your hat or you go viral.
Well, if it does and you ain't ready, what's the point?
Right. So,
like, cool.
The biggest thing is like, now this dude has the tools in his tool belt, right? He didn't have all the tools in his tool belt to go to that place and go, dude, I want to slay at your front of house. He didn't have those. I even look at another guy that I helped out too. The same thing, dude. I go, hey man, I'm going to call this one dude up in Nashville. Are you serious? You really want to go to Nashville? He's like, yeah, I want to go to Nashville. I want to go work with country artists. I'm like, dope, dude. That's sick. And then I look at what he's done, fast forward, my best friend that was doing front house engineer for like all these like huge artists, ended up networking him, got the guy, him too, got him. This kid has chops now, And so now he's toured with like Johnny Swim. I mean, a lot of the other big country artists too. And, of course the music industry is all bad right now. And, it's pretty sad to see what's going on today.
Of course.
So keep those guys in prayer too in the music industry, because millions of people out there with no jobs, but, seeing someone that took the time and put the effort in, fast forward, now he's done like world tours and a lot of big tours. So realize that everything is going to take time. Nothing is going to drop in your lap. It might happen, but we look at YouTube and it's like hitting the lottery to go viral.
It's a success,
and I was meeting with like guys from like YouTube agents. Now they have, if people don't know this, but there's YouTube agents out there that sign you just like a record deal and all this kind of stuff that basically, I was sitting down with them in a meeting and they go, dude, it's like it's like hitting the lottery, going viral. It's kind of intimidating.
It's super rare.
It is rare, bro. It is
everyone's
very
out there
hard.
now.
There's so many people doing content.
Yeah.
People have some money. They're able to get money. They were able to pull a line of credit to build cool production. You know, but everything takes time. You know, and I circle back to that. Yeah, dude. It's that time and that effort that you got to put in day out. Sharpen your tools up to put them in your bag. And then maybe 2, 3 years, 4 years later down the road, you're going to get that job. You might be slaying away at a coffee shop and having some fun with your boys and having fun. But at the end of the day, you're working towards that end of the goal.
I would even say, Isaac, I think people
He'll close this out. We got 60 seconds.
60 seconds. I think people don't understand the true value of what they want until they get to that place. And I think when you go viral instantly, you don't understand the process, and you don't understand the process. You don't understand where you're positioned. And people who don't work on their craft, know their tools, and do all that don't understand that there were people before them that paved a path for them to get there. I also think this: take care of your mind, take care of your heart, take care of your body. Isaac goes running. We ride bikes. We do these things outside for health. We do things every day to develop spiritual, physical, and mental grit so that when the world throws a curveball, we're ready to hit it or at least endure it. And I think the other thing is, man, love people. No one got anything out of hating things and hating people. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And it's a grind. That should be your grind. That should be your routine. Set up healthy rhythms to stay healthy so your stuff is great.
Rituals, man. A lot of rituals.
A lot of it, man. And get that community. So I think that's the 20-second, 30-second version. But I think that's just it. Like, don't lose sight of the value. So when you get your chance and opportunity, you understand that the value of how you got there is part of the value of why you're there.
Ride the roads that other people paved for you. Look at the road signs on the way, and don't lose sight of your goals.
100%.
That's huge.
Thank you, guys.
Drink coffee. Drink a lot of coffee.
Proclamation Podcast. Thank you for being here.